So we're here in beautiful Leeuwarden at GFA Academy. We did a foundational wrestling camp where the emphasis was on hand fighting and getting to a leg, getting to the head, essentially going into position to be able to score, which I think is a great start, foundationally speaking. And I feel like everyone improved tremendously during the camp. Everybody got the hang of it, and at the end of the camp, it actually looked like people were wrestling without having prior wrestling experience. So I hope you enjoyed the footage. Leave a comment, let me know how you like it. If you have any questions, just reach out. We're gonna do a small review of the things that we've been playing with yesterday, so you actually can practice it. It's a little more cooperative than it was yesterday, so your partner's supposed to win, right? It's not full resistance. Just to get the feel for it, and you can ask questions if you have problems, right? So if I have Will and Alex here, we're gonna start with a defensive drill. The first line of defense was what? Head, right? So they're gonna go ear to ear, and they're gonna each shoot once and head block. Now it's Will's turn to shoot. Alex head blocks. Now they tie up. And we're gonna do inside tie thumb blocks against the shot. When they shoot, inside tie thumb blocks. Come back up, right? Don't stay there. Yes, now they pummel and they switch. Now it's the other guy's inside tie. Now we play outside tie thumb blocks. Pummel and outside tie thumb blocks. And now we're gonna go head blocks again. So we just use first line defense, head blocks, and then second line defense are the arms, right? We're gonna use inside and outside tie thumb blocks. And we rehearsed everything that we went over defensively. Any questions regarding this? You don't have to go quick. Use it as a warm-up, do it slow, make it work. As soon as you warmed up a little bit, you can go quicker, right? But it's a review, let your partner work their head and hand blocks. Right? Any questions? Good. 1, 2.
What is this? Oh, Jesus
my God!
Christ.
This super tight rash guard actually is
man.
roaming roll. You may have heard of it.
Super tight. Yeah. I didn't expect you to gain 10 kilos in the past 2 months.
Nor did I, but that's just the power of this rash guard.
Oh yeah. Right.
Check out roaming roll.
So first line of defense is the head. Second line of defense are the hands, the arms. Third line would be the hip, and fourth line traditionally doesn't exist, but then Ice Cream came around and was doing all the funk stuff. So now fourth layer is funk and mat defenses when my hip already got broken down, right? But we're not going to go into that because it's the least important at the beginning. It gets more important later on, but at the beginning, heads, hands/arms, hips, right? So now we switch to an offensive game. We talked about the dilemma between leg exposure and head exposure, and we're just playing that out of inside ties. So one of your partners has inside ties and he wants to create leg exposure or head exposure. Don't forget, it's a dilemma. If the head is low to block your shots, you're gonna snap, get the head. If you wanna snap and they react by changing the level, making a hat higher, you can go to the legs again. It's not a one-way street. Don't forget that. Sometimes you go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You need to snap, you need to expose. Don't forget to move your partners, right? So if I have Wille and Alex here, one is gonna play inside ties, and all he wants to do is expose legs and expose the head. They're not allowed to pummel, right? Just move your partner, get to the legs, re-tie up, and go again, right? And your partner wants to just block with the head and pull the legs back, right? And you need to find your ways in. Wrestle back out, get into position, okay? So, 2 minutes, one, then 2 minutes, the other guy. For the third round, for the last 2 minutes, we're gonna incorporate pummeling. So both of you wanna occupy inside space and still get to the legs, get to the head. But now both are allowed to do it. So you wanna pummel, you wanna get levers, you wanna expose head, hands, stay on. Do you see that those two are playing around a little and not go balls to the walls? That's how you should do it. It's not about winning all the time. It's about giving and taking a little bit if your partner cannot follow. If you have the gas tank and the skills to go quicker and go faster and hustle a little bit, you can do that as long as you warm up and you know how to use it. But you decide that on your own. Keep it playful. You still have 2 hours to go, right? Is everybody clear on the rules of those 3 rounds? 1, 2.
He's supposed to be this great teacher, but when it comes to like basic instructions, me and Alex on our own, way better.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess Germany just has like a problem with leadership or something.
So now we need to be able to deal with thumb blocks, because if you cannot deal with thumb blocks, people can just cage you out and stall you out. It's very, very nerve-wracking if someone has just thumb blocks and you don't know how to deal with thumb blocks. Because if you know how to deal with it, you can just find easy entries, or let's say simple. It's not super easy because it's very timing dependent. That's why we have to practice it with timing. But it's very simple solutions that you can use to get rid of it, right? So to make it easier for the first round, we're gonna go 2 minutes. One is offensive for 1 minute and the other one is offensive for 1 minute. And we're just gonna thumb block one side or both sides and wait for our partner to either elbow post or snap the thumb block off to create leg exposure again. I'm not allowed to do anything else. I just wanna use thumb blocks. I'm not allowed to use my head. I wanna pull legs back, right? That's it. And my partner needs to find ways for 1 minute each, right? Do that for a second, guys, so people know what we're talking about. Right, we've been thumb blocking, so it's either, don't tie it. Don't tie it. So it's thumb blocking, and Wille needs to find ways to get rid of that thumb block. Either snapping or posting, right? So, one important thing, and those two guys are messing that up because they're trying to go slow. Normally, it's not something you can do slow, because if I'm thumb blocking and Wille goes slow, I'm just gonna follow, right? So normally it's a pop level change, right? So he needs to do that quick. There, see, he's falling into my crotch. Nice, right? So it's either go slow, but don't just try to be obnoxious with the block because he needs to be quick if he doesn't want that to happen, or just do it a little bit of weight bearing, right? Because if I'm here, it's not weight bearing, I can just follow. But as soon as it's weight bearing, if he just goes a little bit, now it's going to be easy, right? So make those thumb blocks weight bearing. So you, right? If you're just cosmetically here and he's going to shoot, he's just going to shoot through you because it's not a real block. Does that make sense for you? Mm-hmm. So don't be an asshole like yesterday and try to get your elbows. That's not the point. The point is understanding, snapping, and elbow posting the thumb block up. right? And if you're not comfortable enough to do that quick, you need to have a partner that's not obnoxious you're following because you're not quick enough yet. Does that make sense? Do it again. There you go. And now again, one hand, the other hand, snap it, and level change with it. Go to the legs. Yeah. Right, get to the legs. Level change with the snap. Yes, now pose again. Not opposed. Yeah. Try to get a feel for it. Get rid of those thumb blocks, okay? It's 1 minute each. Then we're gonna do 2-minute rounds again. Now with pummeling. So your partner wants to get to the legs or the head again. You wanna use thumb blocks and pullbacks of the legs. You don't wanna use the head to block yet. We leave that out. So both are pummeling. Go for it, you guys. Both are pummeling. One is being offensive and wants to get to the legs or the head by snapping, by posting, by doing whatever, right? Both are allowed to pummel. And Ville, in this case, he just wants to pull legs back, like he just did, and wants to go thumb block. And Alex cannot ignore the thumb blocks. He needs to get rid of it if Ville thumb blocks. Don't forget that. If you just shoot, you're gonna get shot, you're gonna get thumb blocks. There you go. Okay, 2 minutes each. Do you get the rules, guys? So first 2 minutes, it's 1 minute per person. It's just one thumb blocks and you snap it or post it. And try to get to the legs. Second minute, it's your partner's turn. Now, the next round, one is defensive, one is offensive. You want to get the head or the legs. And you're only supposed to thumb block and pull legs back. Second or third round, 2 minutes, it's your partner's turn. I know it's a lot of information, but we went over it yesterday in great detail. Everybody got it? 1, 2. Switch! Pummeling battle, one offensive, one defensively. So now, when people start extending the arm, we've been manipulating up and down, right? With the snap and the post. If people are not extended yet, we can, pummel the thumb block out, right? We talked about that very briefly. So if I have Ville here, and we are pummeling, and he has an inside tie thumb block, like I can start when it's not overextended to pull it out, right? To use my shoulder and pull it out, so the thumb block is gone. You can do the same from the inside, right? When I'm on the inside and the thumb block comes in, I can start pushing my shoulder forward and pulling the elbow in to clear that thumb post. But once it's extended, I don't have the lever to do that anymore from the outside or the inside. Now I have to get rid of it by posting or snapping, right? So depending on how extended people are with it, you can do one or the other thing. Does that make sense for you? So when you're close, you don't necessarily have to snap the post. It's easier to use regulated tension to pull the elbows in and get rid of thumb blocks like that. But even there, don't ignore them. Play with them, right? So now, that's not the only way we can manipulate the arm positions, because an extended arm up and down is easy, right? But I can also open it up, don't thumb block, open it up, or pull it across, right? And those directions are effective and very, very common, and you need to be able to play it. Because those directions are the directions you need to go if people aren't extending their arms, right? Because if his arm is not extended, how am I gonna pop it up? How am I gonna snap it? It's like very hard to do, right? Because it's not extended. Now I need to open it or cross the center line. Okay, so we want to get center line exposure. The center line is the line that goes through him. I can expose the center line from the inside, right? Now I have center line exposure. Or I can expose it from the outside. Now I have center line exposure from the outside. Everybody clear on that? So first we're going to start crossing the elbow. This is called an elbow pass because I'm passing the elbow across, right? And we have different means to do that. First off, we're going to do it from a thumb block. A defensive thumb block is one of the best times to counterattack because he's there. I can snap, I can reshoot, or I can elbow pass to a go behind or a front headlock depending on where we end up, right? So if I'm here and I'm thumb blocking him and Villa tries to shoot on me, right? I'm just gonna go in by and get the elbow pass to expose the back right away. And I have my go behind. So I have a counter attack I can shoot off of that. I just need to get my leg out of the way and push the elbow across. And it doesn't necessarily mean I can only do it from the inside. I can also do it from the outside as long as I get grip on the elbow and do an elbow pass. If I'm on the outside and he shoots, it's the same thing, right? I just pull it across, get an anchor between us, and run for the leg. Don't go for the waist yet. Okay, if people circle out, you don't get the waist, you lose the whole thing. If they want to circle out, you get the leg, you can take them down. If you want to stay connected, you can go to the back and the tight waist from the leg. So make a habit out of running for the leg, not for the hip. Okay, it's not that it doesn't work or it can't work, but against good people who, you know, want to turn with you and run away from you, the hip is very far away. So go for the leg, right? And with timing, we're just going to do that one-on-one, right? One from the inside, run from the outside. Then it's your partner's turn. Or switch and do it inside, inside, outside, outside. I don't care, right? As long as you do both, one-on-one. Does that make sense for you guys? But always with timing, okay? You don't know when he's going to shoot. You're going to be in position. He shoots. You want to get the leg back, the elbow across, put a block behind his arm, get the leg, and you have your go behind it. You can counterattack right away. Does that make sense for everybody? One more time. So I have inside ties. Now he wants to shoot. So I thumb block, get that leg out of the way, elbow across, block, run for the leg, because if he's going to quad pot and rotate out, rotate, trying to get the hip, that can be hard if people are quick, you know, because he's going to pop back up. So when he's shooting, I'm going here, I'm going for the leg. You cannot run away. Like, you want to have the back now, I can take the back after. We go for the leg first. So that was from the inside. I can also do it from the outside. Right? That's it. It's timing, right? 1, 2.
And then, like, do you know him like this, or
you want to grab the thigh?
And
now you can decide what you want to do. If you want to run him over with double legs, or go for the waist, expose the back. But you want to have the hand block so he doesn't swim his arm around and then you're stuck in front of him.
How deep?
It doesn't have to be deep. It just has to block him from reaching around to your waist.
Okay, yes, sir. Dus dat een beetje voor die.
We'll stick to elbow passes. We'll just do it out of inside-outside tight pummeling. So, the best time to elbow pass is against his pummel to the inside, because he loses connection, and I can just pass it across. This is very simple, but it's not super easy because it's timing dependent. If you're not quick enough, you're just pushing into nothing and he has an inside tie, right? So you want to get the feel for it while pummeling. That could mean that you need to go slow at the beginning, right? So if I am the one elbow passing and Villa and we are pummeling, he's going to pummel in, we're going to play the pummeling game. And I need to find the right moment to elbow pass him across while he's gonna pummel. That doesn't mean you cannot elbow pass if he has a connection, but if he has a good connection, I don't have the angle and the lever to elbow pass. So let's say we're here, I can thumb block a little bit and maybe get it across, maybe. But if he really anchors himself into position, I'm not gonna elbow pass him anyway, right? So you need to find the timing for it. Sometimes you can force it by extending a little and getting rid of the elbow top, but most of the time you're gonna do it off of pummeling exchanges. So what we wanna do now is play 1.5 minutes, just inside outside tie pummeling, and your partner wants to go elbow passes. After that, it's your partner's turn. And in the last round, both are allowed to use elbow passes. Okay? So it's 1-on-1, and after that, both are allowed to. If you can, don't just elbow pass, expose the leg while you elbow pass. So when I elbow pass here, what the leg is there, so I'm gonna inside reach with my arm. And I just try to get it, right? So don't forget, people are gonna pull the leg back. Get the other one. So if we're elbow passing here, and he's moving out, all right, take the other one. It's the first thing we did yesterday. Don't forget those kind of things, right? Try to get a leg after the elbow pass. If you don't feel comfortable, you can do elbow passes a couple of times before you try to get to the leg to get a feel for it, but ultimately try to get to the leg. Don't forget to follow. You keep contact off the elbow the whole time until you have the leg. You don't let go of the elbow. Okay? Go with it. Don't just pass and keep standing. You're gonna crowd him, move forward. If I'm just gonna do this, you're just gonna move away, right? I need to move with my elbow pass. So when I'm elbow passing, like I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Like if you can square back up, all right, but I'm staying on him. I'm not pushing him away. Does that make sense for you guys? So, 1.5 minutes pummeling, one is doing elbow passes, the other one is just pummeling with him. Then we switch. Third round, both are pummeling, both are elbow passing, and try to get to the leg, right? Be mindful of your speed. If it's too quick, slow down a little, communicate if you have problems. Everybody got it? 1, 2.
En ik moet wachten tot jij voor de inside gaat, bijvoorbeeld aan de andere kant. Maar hier, dan pak ik hem hier.
It's not wrong. Are you paying attention at least? Watching videos from better wrestling coaches.
Possible?
It's super annoying for people if you're good at elbow passes. Even if you can't get anything out of it, you out-angle your partner or your opponent the whole time and they're always like crossing elbows and needing to turn back in. It's super annoying. It's a very good skill to have, right? But as always, we need to have two options that work well together. Otherwise, people are just gonna do what? If I want to bring the elbow across, all people are going to do is open the elbow and there's no bringing the elbow across. The solution is very simple. But if people open up the elbow, then we can go under the elbow. And you can just, reach for singles if you want to, but you also can go a step further and use duck unders. Duck unders means I'm ducking under the arm. Right? The function of a duck under is to pull someone over you or pull yourself under him. So there's a couple of different variations and mechanics that play into it, and all of them work as long as the function is still there, right? So the movement that people practice, like cleaning stuff, like doing cleans, like this. Some people use that mechanic. Some people, you know, go onto their heels. Some people do an outside step drop with the knee. Like there's so many variations of doing the duck under, because it just means ducking under the arm and pulling someone over you or pulling yourself under him. It's not necessarily the same thing, okay? Because if I'm pulling Willem over me, I'm staying where I am, pulling him over me. But I can also pull myself under him, right? Depending on what I want to do and what I want to have, I might choose one over the other. Sometimes it's both, right? But it's a level change that you do quite rapidly. So, thing that you can practice is not jumping, but pulling the knees towards the chest, and you will lose contact with your feet because you're pulling your legs up so quickly that you lose contact, right? At the beginning, for most people, this is the easiest, right? Because most people can do that. There's people that cannot do this, right? There's some people, especially when we're low, that prefer to do a knee drop with both knees or with one knee. That is fine as well if we're really deep. But I need to have dropping body weight, and I need to pull him over me or myself into him low, right? And for some people, that's not super intuitive. So we're gonna do it mechanically one and one for a couple of times, so you get the feeling for it. And then we'll wanna, you know, actually do it with timing and do it with elbow passing, going duck under, so you have a dilemma you can play. Does that make sense for you guys? So we're gonna go double inside ties. We're gonna go a little bit lower, so we're not super up high, right? And I'm just gonna drop, pull the elbows up and pull them over me. Do you see that I make him step? And from here we can decide if we want to go back to back exposure, or if I just drop into my shot. So I can also just drop into my shot if I want to, right? Usually it's a head outside shot because I'm ducking my head to the outside. If you want to have an inside single leg, head inside single leg, then that's not what you want to do. Okay, so it's a head outside shot that you do off. And we're just gonna play mechanics from here. Get the leg, get him over you. If he doesn't step at all, you did something wrong, right? You need to pull him over you. You drop, pull, get the leg. From there you can go double legs, or you can expose the back, depending on what you wanna have. If you don't like going for the legs, go to the back, but get the leg first, that leads to the back. People are gonna, you know, circle out, it's gonna be hard to get to the hip. Right? It's the same thing we did with the elbow pass from there. That's why we do the leg first before we go to the hip. Does that make sense for you guys? So once more, double inside ties. And just dropping, pulling him over. And we're in position. Everything is fine. Right? If we're lower, I might need to drop to my knees. Yeah. Right? The lower we are, the lower I have to drop. But if you're not super low, and most people in submission wrestling aren't super low, you don't have to go that far. Or just the mechanics of it. If that works really, really well, do it from double outside ties and see how it works. Right? I'm not going to show it, just try it and see if it still works well or not. Or you can one go inside, one go outside. Right? We have a couple of different configurations, both inside, both outside, one inside, one outside, and the other side. So 4 configurations that you can play around with and see if the duck under works well. Right? But the easiest at the get-go is double inside ties, sorry, not double armors. Everybody clear on what you're supposed to do? Just one and one, right? 1, 2.
I don't want to get my knee this close.
No, you want to drop the knee where the foot is.
I want to get the knee where the foot's on here.
Your foot. So see, feel it. So when we go, and I bring it forward, I'm bringing myself to you. Which can be a very good thing, right? But if I just my knee where my foot is, do you feel how much pull I get?
I got this.
Right? You go really slow. Balls to the mat. That's where you want to end up. Really slow. If you want to keep the heels on the mat and you can't do that, that's fine. Now, if you want to go slow or if you want to go deeper, then you're going to put the knees where the feet are. You're not going to penetrate in. This is not wrong. You can do that if you want to shoot in for double legs. But if you just want to pull people over you as much as possible, you want to drop the knees where the feet were. Because the falling body weight is going to pull him over you. Does that make sense? So do it a couple more times and then we're going to go back together, okay? 1, 2. So now guys, we're gonna do it out of the pummeling battle. So we're gonna pummel for inside position. And we're gonna go ducks, 1 and 1, right? Both are pummeling. You wanna keep the pummeling game going, but one of you wants to duck. And after that, your partner's turn. Keep pummeling and search for the duck. Open the elbow, you can go. Try to go one way and switch sides, right? Misdirections. Like you can do more, that's fine, as long as it is a duck. Don't forget, a good cue for you is trying to bring him over you. His cue is pretty good, is hanging on people. You want to fall and hang on to people and pull them over you. So if they really fall over you, that means you probably did a good duck, okay? As I said before, there's countless different variations. You can do penetration steps with them. Some people do, it's like, man, it's all right. But once you've understood that the benefits of pulling someone over you, that's going to be good. And if you then decide to do penetration steps instead, that's totally fine as well, right? But try to pull people over you by hanging on them, by dropping. It's a fast drop. It's not slow, okay? It's falling body weight. Is everybody clear on what you're supposed to do? Show it once, guys. So Ville and Alex are pummeling, and they're going ducks, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Pummeling. Now that's Alex. Needs to find the timing. Hey, it wasn't perfect, but it was a duck, so that's good enough. You need to get the feel for it, right? So it's just pummeling, both are pummeling, 1 and 1. For the second round, it's pummeling and both want to go. It's not 1 and 1 anymore, okay? You want?
So we can shoot for the duck when we have outside ties?
You can when you have outside ties. It's possible.
What's the thing behind it?
The same.
Same.
It's the same thing. So that's why I said once you feel comfortable with inside ties, play around with outside ties. It's the pull you have is not as strong, but it's still possible to do it with outside ties. So you need to get a feel for it. Right? Try it. If it doesn't work, you feel like, you lose the elbow. All right, go again. Try again. The more sweaty people are, the harder it is to do it from the outside. But it's still possible. And some people prefer inside-outside tie, which is totally fine, right? But that's one of the beauties about duck harness. You can do them from multiple ties. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, right? But you can do them from inside-outside, from double inside, from double outside. It just gets more difficult the more you are on the outside, okay? As long as you don't have the elbow problem, right? So play around with it. You can do that with the pummeling game. You don't have to be all inside to do the duck. Play around with it. As long as the function is the same, it's good. Function is not, then we have to take a look at it. Everybody's clear on what you're supposed to do? Keep it playful. 1, 2.
Yeah, maybe. Länger ziehst, ich den Oberkörper weiter hin.
So, some of you hopefully noticed that a problem can emerge when you do it with an elbow outside tie. If you don't pay attention, you're gonna pull people into an underhook. And unless you want to do fireman's carries, it's not really what you want. What I mean by that is full. So let's say I have an inside-outside tie. Yeah, I'm on the outside here. Like if I pull him here now and I'm not paying attention and he just sneaks his hand down there, that's going to be problematic depending on where you are, right? So you don't want to necessarily do that. It can be the same from the inside. Like if people snake it in and you just go here, that can be problematic, right? So if you end up there, you just need to limp arm out. You cannot stay there unless you want to go fireman's carries, which is fine if that's what you want, but it's not an easy skill, right? So if this happens, like he scoots his hand in and I end up here, just gonna limp arm it out and everything is fine, right? So if you get stuck there, don't stay there, limp arm it out, try to go on unless you want to do fireman's carry, okay? So now, we are trying to combine those things because as I said before, if people don't want to get elbow passed, they need to open up their elbow. If people don't want to get ducked, they're going to close their elbow. So you need to play those things off of each other, right? So let's say I'm an inside ties and I want to duck and I want to move here and I feel like it's just pressuring in the arm, and I'm just going to elbow pass. If I originally wanted to elbow pass and he's just going to pressure in, man, that's a great way to go for the duck. So you need that dilemma again. Because if you just do one thing, they're just going to do the opposite and then it's going to be hard, right? So it's the same procedure as before. You want to go inside, outside type pummeling. But now you want to try to combine elbow passes and ducks. You want to get one of those things and try to get to leg exposure. So don't stay there. Come up with a leg, disengage and start over. You never have to quit wrestling if you don't want to. Right? You never have to stand straight. Like I know it's demanding, but it's a good skill to have to stay in position all the time. If you can manage that, perfect. If you need a break, go apart, stretch elbow, and then re-engage. But as long as you're engaged, stay in position, right? So when I did my duck, I'm on the leg. I'm not letting go and disengaging, and then we're starting over. I stay in position and we can go on right away, right? If I do my elbow pass, I'm here, and we're here. We can keep going. I don't have to separate, right? It's much more straining on the body because you're in position all the time. But as I said before, it's a good thing to do. Maybe not over the whole 2 hours, but you know, if you can, that's a good thing. If you can't, separate, loosen up a little, re-engage, but try to stay in position when you're there. Okay, that way you don't lose as much time and your body gets used to just wrestling all the time without needing breaks. It's a good thing to have, right? If you need a break, do one and then go back to work, right? But we're gonna do 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes me, just now trying to get an elbow pass, trying to get a duck. Then it's his turn, and in the third round, we both are allowed to duck an elbow pass. Everybody clear on what you're supposed to do? Great, 1, 2.
Oh, keep pulsing. Yeah.
Can you see that 1 is none and 2 is 1? Can you feel that you at least need to have the threat of the other to pull it off? Against good people, you need to have that, right? And if we're not good yet, we'll at least want to try to work in a way that will not make us hit a plateau when people know what's up. We don't just want to beat people that don't know what's going on. We want to beat people that know how it works, that know what to do, that know how to wrestle. So we need to work like that. Otherwise, you're going to beat up beginners and then you hit blue belt and then, people aren't as stupid anymore. Still stupid enough, but not as stupid, right? Hopefully. So if all your skills are predicated on the fact that your partner makes mistakes, and your partner stops making mistakes, then your game goes out of the window, right? So if your game is predicated on the fact that you put a dilemma in front of people that they have to decide between two bad outcomes, then it doesn't matter. Then it's just about timing, right? The timing makes it work, makes it fair. So, do you have any questions regarding the ducks and the elbow passes, or the combination of both?
If the person's just doing a crappy job and they're just keeping on the inside, so like the most beginner thing, do you just elbow pass directly from there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can use the thumb block to disconnect a little more so they cannot grip me as well, and then I can just go elbow pass. So let's say Villa's just, being here and pulling it in, so I feel like it's not a good fit for me, like I cannot elbow pass, I cannot duck from here. I'm just gonna straighten it a little bit and I can still elbow pass. So I just use the thumb block to go to an elbow pass, right? That should be relatively simple if people are so stubborn to do just that and nothing else. Anything else? Good. So now there is other ways to cross elbows than an elbow pass. An arm drag is a good example. And an arm drag is one of the best multi-tools we have, just because, again, it's very applicable to almost every situation, and it's low risk, high reward. If you don't get it, most of the time nothing bad happens. But if you get it, you have a very, very high likelihood of getting to a leg or getting to the back. So arm drags are very, very good. There's a couple of forms of arm drags. The main arm drags that people use is inside step, outside head, or inside head, outside step, right? For the purposes that we're trying to do, we're gonna go the later. We're gonna go inside head, outside step, because it leads to head inside single legs and the back. The inside step, outside head variation leads more to outside shots, inside trips, stuff like that. But the back is a little further away, and I have an outside head position. Both is totally fine, both is totally correct. As I said before, we're just working with the outside step, inside head, because it leads you to the things we've been working on. That's the only reason, right? So if you feel comfortable, you can play around with other types of arm drags. But I want to talk about the mechanics for a bit. Because form follows function, right? As long as I get to the leg, I get to the back, like I don't care how well it is executed. But still you need to find your ways into the arm drag out of inside and outside type pummel, right? So if I have inside ties, I need to come to the wrist with my wrist. And now I can just swish it around, right? Legs on, legs off. The movies, right? It's just this. That's the motion, right? I swish, I push it across, and I reach for the armpit. Don't go for the elbow. It tends to slip a little bit quicker. So if I go here and Villa starts pulling out, it can slip a little easier. That doesn't mean it doesn't work, but slippage is a problem. But if I get the shoulder by grabbing the armpit, slippage is not as big of an issue. You will still slip out from time to time, don't get me wrong, but you have a better surface to actually control. You're not just controlling the arm, you're going to control the shoulder girdle, which is way better. So now, the reason why we want to have an outside step inside head is because I'm going to get my shoulder behind his shoulder, right? So if I have my drag here, this is inside step, outside head. This is great for double leg shots, for inside trips. Just look at JT Torres, man. He does a great job with that. He's just arm dragging, inside step, outside head, arm dragging people into inside trips and double legs. So it's very, very effective. It's very, very good, right? But if we want to have a single leg, then the head position is off. So if I instead go outside step, inside head, the leg is here right away. And I have my shoulder behind his shoulder. So if Villa tries running away from me, I'm in position. I reach for the waist and we're in position to take the back, or at least expose the back. If we're here and I'm trying to reach, then he's going to run away. And maybe he's even, re-dragging me. Because re-dragging is a problem if you don't put your arms where they're supposed to be. Okay? So, we're having inside ties. I go to the wrist. Inside head, outside step while I drag. That's the motion we want to get. right? If I'm outside ties, it's a snap drag. So you remember the snaps? It's the same motion with the arm, just that you're snapping into a drag. So now I'm just not snapping it right down, I'm snapping it into my drag. This is arguably the more effective one because it's just way quicker, right? The inside tie one is a very basic one. You know, you can learn it by just thumb posting and, you know, which is a great exercise. I don't want to play it down, right? But if you look at high level wrestling, most people snap into their drags. But again, you have possibilities to go into the drag from an inside and an outside tie. It's applicable to both situations. So, that's all we're gonna do, okay? Don't get me wrong, there's more to it, but just try that. Use your favorite side, go for the drag. That's all we need to do.
Is there a reason why you go for the waist now instead of the leg?
No, I go for the leg if I wanna get the leg. If I wanna get the back, I can reach for the waist because I have my shoulder behind his. Okay. Right? Because I'm connected here. Even if I don't have it yet, if Villa tries running away, you know, I can still try to make it work and try to reach it. And if I really cannot reach it because he's trying to run way too much, then I go for the leg. So you kind of have to decide if you want to have the leg or you want to have the tight waist. And you can go there directly. But if you cannot get the tight waist, then you have to take the leg. Okay, so there you have a couple of more options. You don't have to take the leg right away if you try to get the back exposure, right? But if you cannot get it, get the leg. And the only reason why we're allowed to do that is because I have that shoulder in position. If I don't, then I have to take the leg, right? Work from there. Everybody clear on the mechanics? Inside, outside, partner's turn, or switch. Do both inside, both outside, I don't care, but try to get the mechanics down for the drag, get into position to grab the leg or grab the tight waist. Good? 1, 2.
So you gotta snap. So if on the outside, you snap one down. Yeah. And then if you're on the inside, you just pummel. So roll your hand, pull. Other way. There. And now.
Now if I want to snap it, I come over, snap it, and I'm in position again, right? Both of them quicker, right? You can practice them slowly, but an arm drag is nothing you can procrastinate in. You need to go. So at the beginning, it's all right to do it slowly, but you need to start picking up the pace as soon as possible because you want to hit drags fast, unless people are just going to pull out, right? Go, 1, 2.
1, 2.
Great input.
Take over the video, yeah.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do our pummeling game again. Inside, outside tie pummeling. We go 1.5 minutes. One partner's allowed to drag, and 1.5 minutes the other partner's allowed to drag. That's all we're gonna do, right? Just pummeling. And in the third round, both are allowed to use drags. That's all we're gonna do. Does that make sense for you guys? Everybody clear on what you're supposed to do? Third round, both are allowed to pummel and go for the arm drag. Don't just arm drag, right? And, you know, throw people somewhere where you don't have control. Get to a single leg, get to the tight waist and expose the back. One of those two things, right? And if I am getting arm dragged, I'm just not staying there. I'm trying to move around. So you actually have to do it properly. And only if your partner cannot make it work, even if his life depended on it, then you stop that rotation to get out. But you need to be able to put your shoulder behind the shoulder so people cannot pull out, run away, and kill the angle, right? And if that's too hard, you need to slow down a little. But if you can, incorporate that, because that's realistic. No one's just gonna stand there and let themselves get dragged. They're trying to pull out and rotate out, okay? Everybody clear? 1, 2.
I wasn't clear. I'm very confused and I'm very tired.
Need some sleep, mate.
This isn't butt screwing.
Get a demotion.
Was it like work both?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like.
Missed that. Missed that. It didn't happen.
I'm gonna pummel, I'm gonna poke, and you need to get out.
Auf hier Inside, da kann ich den behalten. So. Das war scheiße. Cut it out, please.
How did that go? Could you make the drags work? Sometimes it's good enough, right? Because we're doing it dynamically. We're not doing it with a corporate, like with a partner that is giving you everything. He's pummeling with you. He's trying to pull his arm out. It's not easy. It's timing dependent, and you need to pull it off relatively quickly, and bring the shoulder behind the shoulder. Otherwise, it's going to be hard, right? So now we try to combine everything. So nothing changes per se. We have one guy offensive and one guy defensive. Second one, we're gonna switch. And third round, both are allowed to be offensive and of course be defensive, right? But you wanna incorporate everything. You want a head block, you want a thumb block, you wanna hit your snaps, get the legs, do the elbow passes, ducks, and arm drags. Just get to a leg, get to the head, or get to the back. That's all we're trying to do, right? And you want to incorporate everything, defensively and offensively. But keep it playful, right? If you notice, as the defensive guy, that no matter what your partner does, he's never succeeding, give him something to work with, okay? Start with 100% resistance. Not necessarily in the sense of muscling anything. That's not what we want. 100% resistance, I just mean you don't give him anything voluntarily, right? And if it doesn't work, you dribble down. Don't start slow and go harder later. Start hard and go slower if your partner can't make it work, right? In the last round, it's the same thing. If your partner is always losing, so you're both allowed to be offensive, give him something to work with and see if you still can defend. Let him in deeper, see what happens, right? So we have Alex and Wille showing it once. One is defensive, one is offensive. And they're just incorporating, starting inside, outside type pummel. They want to pummel, they want to expose the head, the back, or the leg. One defensive, one offensive player.
Just from
Just from pummeling.
Yeah. No, I mean, am I just using the arm guard to expose?
No, you are allowed to do everything.
Everything.
You want to drag, you want to elbow pass, you want to duck, you want to snap, you want to do everything to get to the legs, to the back, or the head. See, he didn't ignore the thumb blocks. He addressed it, tried to incorporate everything, tried to mix it. And now it's supposed to look like you're actually wrestling, because you're doing a lot of things. Those two guys are kind of advanced a little bit here and there. So don't fret it if it doesn't look like that with you and your partner, but that's what you want. That's where you're aiming at, right? So last round, so go hammock, right? 1, 2.
Over under, you each just have one. I tried
you just compliment Billy on something?
No, I think you misheard.
Oh, okay. My bad.
See that what happens if I compliment him. Now he messes up.
Yeah.
No call ties, guys. Don't forget, no call. Good back. Keep working. You don't have to muscle everything, but keep working. Keep the pace high. Nicely shot. Oh, we come up with the best. Looks a little bit like you're wrestling. We try to do it even more so tomorrow, right? Try to make you look like wrestlers, like pretend wrestlers, something like that, right? Someone that doesn't know and looks from the outside might think that you're wrestlers. That's what we want to achieve. Any questions regarding what we just did? Do you feel like the chaos makes it, you know, a lot harder, right? So if you can do and are allowed to do a lot of things, it's going to be hard. So you have to react fast to multiple different things. That's why we start with just inside-outside pummeling. It's complex enough. Like, can you imagine if we add wrist ties, add collar ties, add over and under hooks, add body locks, do this, do that, it gets even harder. And because we're standing, we're dynamic, everything needs to be done quickly. So we need to scale it down a little bit so you can actually work with the things. And I don't think anyone in this room would say, oh, this inside-outside type pummeling was too easy. It was just, you know, I'm on the inside, I'm on the outside. I can do that. I don't think anyone here would say that, right? It's thumb blocks, it's like elbow posting, snapping those thumb blocks off, it's trying to elbow pass, trying to duck or open up for leg exposure, trying to snap and arm dragging people. Like, it's a lot of things. And there's even more things that you can do off of those things. But it is complex enough as it is. And tomorrow we're gonna add on to those inside-outside ties. We're gonna talk a little bit about underhooks. We're gonna talk a little bit about maybe wrist ties, maybe the collar tie. We're gonna probably start with the collar tie because it's the most important one, but you know, we're gonna see how far we can take it tomorrow with you guys. Right? But if we add the collar tie to the mix, you know, it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna be able to, you know, outplay a lot of people with just inside, outside ties and collar ties. If that's all you can do, you already can do a lot. Right? And why we start with inside, outside ties, we're gonna talk a little bit about that tomorrow. Right? Is everybody the feeling that you've got better at wrestling today? Very good. If not, please always tell me, right? Off camera, of course, but tell me, right? Because that's what it's designed to do. It's not designed to, you know, show you 20 techniques and then, you know, go fuck off. It's supposed to be, okay, we're really gonna work with the stuff. We get the timing down, we have to do it with resistance. So you can actually get better at those things. Unless, you know, you have learned 15 techniques and maybe you take home 5 with you, and once you get to rehearse it, you have 2 down, and then it's resistance and you can't do anything with it. It's not the goal, right? We want to make you better during the seminar. So that is important feedback from me. So at the end of the camp, please come to me, give me feedback. Please tell me, man, I feel like I understand wrestling a little better. I can pull things off. Or I cannot make it work. Then we have to take a look at it again, right? But the probability that it's on you is very high because I did a great job of teaching. And if you cannot do it, then it's your fault, of course. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, have a great night. Thank you.